Acura's TL's a nice enough car, but loaded up with all the electronic and performance options, and it becomes something entirely different, a really desirable car. Let's drive the TL super handling all-wheel drive with the tech package and check that tech. The TL is Acura's best-selling car, if not its prettiest. It's burdened with just about the most extreme execution of Acura's current ungainly corporate face. But luckily, you don't see that end from the driver's seat. Instead, the tack and the tech portray this car's true nature. This, by the way, is the fourth generation of the TL, and its current styling is an interesting combination of the raked knife-like edges of a Cadillac combined with subtle curves that look like they could have been lifted from infinity.
Now our TL is loaded to the gills. Let's get started. Go to the screen. That's where things begin. This is a car that's got a very bright, high-res display. Makes it really easy to get to things because finally Acura Honda recently revised their menu system, which was getting really long in the tooth. The geography is about the same, but they finessed it in a lot of different ways, and of course they've done wonders for the resolution and the rendering of the graphics. They use a controller like most car makers, so on this one you've got this rubbery ring you turn that also has a kick function on the crown above it and an enter function on the middle of it. Things move pretty briskly because, like most cars that aren't cheap today, it's hard drive based. You've got multiple ways to view the map, of course, bird's eye and top down and directional stuff. That's all pretty standard. You also have traffic on this car provided by XM Nav Traffic, which also brings in weather, stock quotes, sports scores. Now, the audio system is upgraded as part of this tech package. A lot of things are in this mix, including the ELS surround sound system. That's a Panasonic unit done in conjunction with Elliot Shiner, a legendary recording studio guy. You've got audio disc ability on this guy, but one disc at a time. They compensate for that by giving you the hard drive. The output on this guy is pretty robust. 440 watts, 7.1 surround capable. As you see, DTS, Dolby PL2, all decoders are built into this guy. AM, FM, of course, no HD radio on this guy. XM is your satellite radio and your traffic, stock, sports, and weather. Acura is still drunk on buttons, as you can see. They cram lots of them in here. To kind of make up for that, in my mind, what balances it is that they do use this dual display technology. So you can have your map up on the top there and be enjoying your navigation scenery, and at the same time have a full crisp display of things like time, your media setting, your climate settings. I like when cars do this. Now, as I mentioned, rather a treat in this car is a manual transmission in a vehicle that has a lot of performance. We almost always see automatics or dual clutch gearboxes a lot. Here's our 6-speed manual. It's a pick on this car, by the way, same price as the automatic. Now, I don't know of a car company that does as much of a showcase presentation of their engine. Look at this thing. You got this big plastic skirt all the way around the engine. That's how important it is in this car because we have a super handling all-wheel drive TL. That's more than just a drivetrain change. On this car, you get bumped up from a 3.5 V6 to a 3.7 liter V6, up from 280 horsepower to 305 horsepower, 273 foot-pounds of torque. Your MPG comes down a notch from 1826 on the Garden Variety TL to 1725 on this guy. Not bad, and 0 to 60 is about a 5.5 second affair. If you watch a lot of our CNET Car Tech videos, you know I'm not one to gush over most cars. I leave that to every other blogger. But I'll tell you what, this car needs some gushing. This is one of the great driving sedans we've ever had in our CNET garage in the last handful of years. The power comes on like that. It never gets breathless, super smooth and silky. Just a great motor. And of course, the super handling all-wheel drive does its thing. Now, I'm not on a track, so I'm really not taxing it. But the car just maintains its bias perfectly. It's pulling and pushing in all the right directions evenly through turns. Just a nice driving experience. And thank you so much, Honda, for this 6-speed manual and a great clutch to go with it. Real linear. And the gearbox, while not the best I've driven, is real good. There's one word I had to apply to this car, it's balance. The power, the suspension, the comfort, the overall usability of the car, the tractability of all the control inputs, everything's balanced and seems to fit as a whole. This guy nails it. Okay, let's price a 2010 TL. 36 grand out the door base. but that's for a standard TL. That's not what I'm driving. This is a super handling all-wheel drive TL with tech. So the super handling all-wheel drive part, which is both the drivetrain and the 3.7 motor above the 3.5, that's going to add $3,500. Another $3,700 is required for the tech package. Hard drive nav, hard drive media playback, the ELS audio system. So add $8 grand, but you get a sweet package.